All right, let's get right into it. You see it on the screen. Buffalo Bills edge rusher Von Miller praises Jalen Phillips. It's just a matter of time before he blows up. In this, we are going to talk about the emergence of Jalen Phillips. And I think a lot of people in Miami already are like, what do you mean he's going to be a breakout star? He's already great. No, there's another gear to this, and this isn't the only place I see it. So in this video, we're going to talk about the multiple reports where people are praising Jalen Phillips. We're going to talk about what he's done and what he can do this year, and how there's certain things that have happened with this team that will make him even better going into the season than he was before. And I think you're going to absolutely love what we have to say. Before we get into that, make sure if you're new to the channel, we love NFL teams that the national media kind of ignores, so to speak. We have another channel, Sports Talk Detroit, but this one, we love the NFL too much. So we want to pay attention to the little guy. And the Miami Dolphins aren't necessarily the little guy, but I don't think they get enough love by the national media unless they're good. So Jalen Phillips, here's exactly what he said. Now, remember, we're talking about Von Miller here, guy who has 123 sacks, Broncos, Rams, all that kind of stuff. He's playing for the division rival Buffalo Bills, and he didn't let that stop him. Here's what he had a quote. It was on the Pardon My Take episode. And he said, I think it's just a matter of time before he blows up. Talking about Phillips. He has all the tools. He has a great get off. He's long. He's super strong. And he's in the right scheme, especially with Coach Fangio. Like, yes. He said, I think over time he will become one of the best pass rushers in the league. Now, I got more for you. Okay, I got more for you. This wasn't the only place that talked about Phillips being a breakout. Bleacher Report put 8 edge defenders that are poised for a breakout season. This is nuts that he's making these lists, because he's a guy who's had a double-digit and almost double-digit, or 2 almost double-digit sack seasons already in his 2 years in the league. So here's what it says. In some ways, Jalen Phillips could be labeled an established player. He's registered back-to-back 7-sack seasons. There you go. And played 73% of snaps with the Miami Dolphins last year. By the way, PFF has it at a completely different number. All right. PFF has it at a completely different number. So I don't know. And I also don't know why this completely restarted. All right. It says, however, he might be on the verge of a superstar ascent. Melvin Ingram eclipsed 500 snaps last year, but Miami didn't re-sign him. Andrew Van Ginkel should absorb some of that playing time, but the rest likely will belong to Phillips. An expanded role should only bolster the third-year pro's production, plus new defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is a prime person to unleash Phillips opposite Bradley Chubbs. It'd be wise not to rule out Phillips surpassing Chubb anyway. Okay. Whoa. Like, this is some solid stuff. Now, this is a guy that, yes, he did a very good job. You got guys like Van Ginkel that are going to come in, but here's what I'm telling you. Life is always better when you have 2 pass rushers. Chubb is a good pass rusher. We know that. We know that. He's not a bad pass rusher at all. But Phillips has the ability to be elite. Chubb was more just, I had a lot of opportunities. And so with Phillips, it's like, all right, what are we going to do with him? And I think the other side of this too is that Phillips is just honestly a little bit better when it comes to being well-rounded. So you are going to see him on the field more. His coverage grade was a little bit better. Not that he had to drop back very often. All right. He was on the D-line constantly, but it was a little bit better. But now you're going to see him in a position where he can just rush the passer. I think the other thing we have to understand is that this defense overall is going to be a little bit better. Now, I know that there was a major injury. We all know. All right. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about the injury right now at the cornerback position. But That being said, I still think this is a better overall defense. Here's why I think he's going to have even more opportunities to break out. Now, if you're one of those fantasy football nuts who likes to do individual defensive players, go get Jalen Phillips. All right. He was already rated high, and we're going to get into that too. But this offense, if the jujitsu is paid off for Tua Tagovailoa, all right, if Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can stay healthy, okay, and the rest of this team just does what this team did the year before, this offense will be even more electric. What that means is you will have multiple games where, if this team is as good as we think they're going to be, you are going to have multiple teams where the opponents are just simply going to have to rush or pass and pass and pass and pass. Guess what? Pin your ears back, Jalen Phillips. It's time to go get paid. It's time to go get those sacks. It is year 3. Sophomore slump, not a thing in year 3. Go get the bag. Go get the quarterback. Make a name for yourself this year and next year going into a new deal. Why not? And I think that's the amazing thing about this is I think he's finally in a team that's going to really help. A Vic Fangio defense, are you kidding me? Some of the two-headed monsters that have been with Vic Fangio throughout his years, like the dude has a phenomenal track record of getting to the quarterback. And now he's in Miami calling this defense. So, yes, I think he's there, but it's not just that. Phillips had, I just want to be clear on this, he had the 6th best overall grade on PFF for a defensive lineman at 88.8, a defensive grade. That's remarkable. His run defense was good. He was ranked 18th at 74.8, but his pass rush was number 5, 90.1 amongst all defensive ends. So if you allow him to be in the main position, and you can't double team him every time, you got Chubb on the other side, this dude's going to get some sacks. Like, I don't think it'd be crazy if he's chasing after 15 this year. I really don't. I know that's a bold statement. It's easy for me to say on this little unknown channel with only a few thousand subs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you right now, why not? He is in a team that has a good secondary behind him, so there should be a few coverage sacks built in there. He has a team that has a phenomenal offense, so teams are going to be playing from behind or at least having to pass a lot to keep up. He's going to have the opportunity. All right, hope you like the take, and Dolphins have a star in the making. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree. Hit the subscribe button. Love having more Miami Dolphin fans on the channel. See you on the next